This is the plaintiff, Jens Duesman. He says he thought the defendants were his friends, but he had to find out the hard way. They're crooks who are basically trying to rob him of his money. He loaned them $1,000 to get out of jail. They wrote him a check to pay him back without having funds in the account. And he's here suing for his hard-earned do-re-mi. These are the defendants, Johnny and Amber Snyder. Johnny says he's been friends with the plaintiff for 20 years, and he has no idea what's gotten into the guy regarding filing this lawsuit. He nor his wife asked the plaintiff to bail him out of jail and thought all along he was doing it out of the goodness of his heart. This is a shock to them that he's now turning his good deed into a loan. Owe him for a gift? No way. They're accused of bailing on bail.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant's a crook who wouldn't return the grand that he paid to get the guy out of jail. But the defendant says it was a gift. It's the case of it's not a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Okay, Mr. Duesman, you're suing Johnny Snyder and Amber Snyder for $1,000 that you loaned them for his bail and that they are refusing to repay you. What's going on? Ooh, who's that little thing next to you that's so cute? Who's that?
That's my firstborn son, Philip.
Oh, he's adorable. Philip, you're so cute. You just sit there and look cute. That's all you have to do in the whole case. What happened?
On March 24th, Amber informed me that Johnny is in jail. She needed help to bail him out and...
What were you in jail for?
I wrecked a car, and they booked me on a DUI, but
oh, that's
I
what
wasn't
you're
under
for.
the
It's not
influence.
wrecking the car. It's the DUI.
Well, supposedly.
How do you guys know each other?
I met him 17 years ago in Florida, and now he moved to Daytona Beach, and our children, they play together.
Okay. So you get a call from her saying he's in custody and...
She needs a ride to jail to pick him up,
okay,
and $1,000 to bail him out for a cash bail bond.
Okay. And is this by text or by phone conversation?
Text.
Okay.
And
then what
messages.
happens?
I gave her a ride to jail with $1,000. I paid the bail bond. We drove home to their house, and all I got was a bad check.
Do you have the check?
Yes.
May I see it?
Sure.
So what's going on? It's like your time of need, this is the person you rely on, and then now you're stiffing him with $1,000?
Actually, his text messages, from what she says, don't ever ask him for any money. He asked how much the bail was. She told him $500 per charge. It's 10%. It was $100 to get out. He told her not to use a bail bondsman because we would lose the $100 and gave her $1,000 cash to pay a cash
bond. Right, but he doesn't expect to lose $100 or $1,000. He expects for...
The point is no one asked him for the $1,000 like he just said. If he has a text, I'd like to see it.
Why did you take the $1,000?
I was in jail.
Have you been in jail before?
Yeah.
How many times have you been in jail?
Once.
So when do you first find out that somebody's bailing you out?
As I left, when they came and got me.
Why didn't you say, no, I prefer to stay here?
Well, I didn't even know who came and got me.
What are you,
thought my wife...
Why don't you put a lid on it a second? Let me hear from you. What's going on?
Did pretty much what he said. I texted him.
You text who?
Jens that night and asked him if Johnny was with him because I couldn't find him. And then that night I had found out where he was.
How did you find out?
I had called the jail several times because I couldn't find him.
Why should you call? That's a, you know, when I can't find John, I honestly, my first thought is not the jail.
So would you loan a really good friend money for bail if he got arrested?
That's a good question. It depends on...
Thank you.
Yeah, it depends on the type of friend and how much money it is.
Okay, I think this is a yes or no answer.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, it depends what he did. If it's bad, you're on your own.
A serial killer.
Yeah, you're on your own.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
That morning I had texted Jens and told him that Johnny was in jail and that I couldn't get him out.
Why not?
Because the banks weren't open.
That's right. So you bring the problem to his doorstep. If your plan is to just wait it through and he gets out on his own recognizance, then wait it through and it gets out on his own recognizance. But your plan was to get money out of the bank. And you bring it to him and say, oh, the banks aren't open, I want to get him out. You text him and you say to him, in fact, you know what? I'm not going to put words in your mouth. Give me the, no, I want it from the phone, not from paper.
Okay.
What day did you get arrested?
March 25th.
Are these texts with him or with her?
He was in jail with her. It was March 24th, Your Honor.
Something going on between you two?
No.
March 24th, he is still in jail. You bail him out? Your answer, I couldn't until he sees the judge. They had an 8-hour hold on him. He says, 8 hours are over, get him out. Or maybe he likes it there and he can have some fun with Big Jim. And then you answer, plus I can't open the safe to nail him out. Get money from the bank, he tells you. I can't wait till the bank opens. And then he asks, how much do you need? It's $500 a case because he has had 2. So he says, pay $1,000 cash bond and he is out. I can be there with the money at 8 for my stupid friend. Why did you write him a check if you weren't supposed to pay this back and this was all just a big gift, guys?
First off, he knew the check wasn't no good. He just wanted proof, okay, that she owed him money. She gave him the check just so he has evidence against us.
Okay, well then, if this is the evidence that you owe it, what is your defense? Because this is then, in fact, evidence that you agreed to pay it. So what is your defense?
After being harassed constantly, give me the money, give me the money.
That's harassment?
Well, sure. Well, if you know that, like, when her cousin owed him $1,300, I gave him the $1,300 because he's a friend and it was her family that messed him up.
What does that have to do with this?
Well, I guess nothing, Your Honor.
Do you ever read your girlfriend's text? You should insist on it.
It's my wife and no ma'am.
Oh, well, then you really should insist on it. Because I'm finding stuff here that I find a little funky.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's just my wife either.
What do you mean? Because that's really what your concern should be, is your wife.
I've known him for 19 years.
Except for that you're not dating him and you're not married to him, you're married to her.
Well.
And when, you know what? Word to the wise, it's your life.
I'll look into it.
Okay, in the meantime, let's discuss $1,000. Let's see. You come up with $1,000 because she essentially asked you to by telling you how much it is and talking to you about it and accepting your money and getting a ride in order to do what? Bail him out. So it's for the benefit of him and for the benefit of her, and neither of them want to pay you back. They give you evidence that it's not a gift, that it's a loan by giving you a check, or they gave you a bad check, one of the two. And then they're both standing here saying, hey, take half, take 50 cents on the dollar. What I don't understand is when the case is over, the $1,000 comes back.
Correct, you ma'am.
Right. Who's it going to come back to?
To him. That's what I told him. And he said...
Whose name was it put under, yours or his?
His.
Wrong. My
May
wife's.
I see the paperwork?
What paperwork?
The paperwork from putting up the $1,000. Is that this? I'm finding in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of the $1,000.
So the plaintiff gets his $1,000 back. The defendants have just come out of the courtroom. You know, I think people watching this, I can't believe, and just watching you and your attitude is, don't you feel any obligation to make sure he gets the $1,000 back? I mean, it got you out of jail.
I didn't ask for it.
That's your
That's it.
whole theory, right?
That's
you
it.
didn't ask for it, she asked for it.
That's right.
And you're off the hook, as far as you're concerned, then, I guess. At least that's what you think.
No, not yet.
It's your attitude.
Not yet. I will be.
Well,
I shouldn't
no,
have went to jail in the first place.
Well, why'd you go to jail?
Still undetermined.
I understood it was a DUI, is that right?
Right, but there's no proof for it, so.
Well, still to be decided. And
That's right.
I think interesting. The judge said you should read your wife's emails,
Yeah, apparently I need to read hers
her text messages.
and have a
You
longer
worried about that?
conversation with him, too.
All right. Well, the judge really intrigued by this whole case. All right. Thank you very much. You're on the hook for the $1,000. Plaintiff is going to get it finally. Interesting. A lot of people might be wondering why you brought your son to court. We don't normally see children in court here, you know?
He can't stay home.
He can't stay home by himself, right?
Correct.
So, okay. Do you have anything to say from what the judge was asking her about your text messages with her?
It was just business.
Just business?
Correct.
You're okay with it, all
I
right?
got my money, and
Do
he's
you,
not my
do
friend.
you feel you were stupid to give the $1,000, put that money up to get him out of jail?
Not stupid. I was helpful. I'm a nice guy.
But yeah, you got to come to court to get it back.
I didn't know that.
You
I
didn't know it
learned.
then. You know it now.
I know it now.
Think you'll do it again in the future?
Not for him.
Not for him. All right. Thank you very much. Well, you've learned
Thank
a
you.
valuable lesson. Okay. Thank you. Intriguing case here. A lot going on here, Harvey. What do you think?
Okay, Doug, here's the deal. Especially if they're married, if she agrees to get the money for him, this is a joint obligation, and both of them, particularly him, he's on the hook.